Good evening, everyone. I think we will get started. For those that are still making their way in, there are certainly lots of spots down close. Lots of room here, and thank you for being here. It's certainly a busy evening on campus, lots of activities, and so I know it was a little bit challenging to find a parking spot, but we're glad that you could join us this evening. My name is Glenn Brand, and it's with a privilege and pleasure that I have to serve as the superintendent here in Acton-Boxborough, and we are so excited to have you here. Most especially for those that are really preparing to join us for the very first time as a family, but of course for those that are already families here but that have a younger one entering. Just to start, a show of hands if we could for a brief moment. How many parents or guardians that are here that this will be their first child that's entering our school system? Terrific. All right, there you go. I'm assuming the rest of you are continuing, or you're just hanging out for the night and looking for something good to do. I'm just a couple of opening comments, and then I'll turn it over to Marie Altieri, our deputy superintendent, who really will take you through the rest of this evening. Informative, and we also know exciting. The opportunity to be thinking ahead now as we get closer to the start of next school year, and to help you prepare for the safe integration and the effective integration of your child into our school system. Recently, the school committee approved work that had been ongoing for some time around a new mission, vision, and set of values for our school district. Our mission, as you might note, or if you haven't already, you'll certainly soon come to learn of, is as follows: to develop engaged, well-balanced learners through collaborative, caring relationships. As I've had the opportunity now for this to be my third year here in the district, in so many ways when I think about this night, as I've come to learn about it, and come to learn about the process that this is in terms of helping you make a choice around one of 6 schools ultimately to attend, and the opportunity to learn more about our school system. This really is about that care and the relationships that we're looking to seek to establish with you. And this is the first of many, of course, over the time that your child or children will be here in our school systems. It's also well understood. There's a lot of mixed emotions as you think ahead to next September for your young one joining us. And over the course of the next number of months, there will be lots of different efforts to try and partner with you and to try and provide you with information to best prepare you. A couple of things just to point out. I know that there was a lot of information on the table that you came in, but 2 specific things that I'd just like to take the opportunity to share with you. This is called Ready to Learn in the pamphlet, and hopefully you picked one up, and if you didn't, I know that there are more on the table on your way out. It's also posted on our district website. And this was almost a year-long effort, I think, with Deb Bokus, our assistant superintendent for teaching and learning, and other folks within her department that really worked hard to assemble a lot of resources and helpful information and guidance for parents and guardians of young children. If you haven't had a chance to take a look, please do. It's a terrific document. The other was a one-page on our family learning series, and that's something that you will hear an awful lot more of as you make your way into our community. And for those parents or guardians that are here already, hopefully you've heard an awful lot about this. Having myself worked in a number of school districts, one of the things that I can't say I've ever seen to the same level of establishment is the Family Learning Series. And again, under Deb Book's leadership, but working with many, over the last couple of years, it has grown to really be a tremendous set of resources to partner with you, our families, and provide timely information. Sometimes those sessions or seminars or workshops, whatever you might wish to think of them as, might be geared towards a particular audience a little bit differently. For example, secondary parents or elementary. We strive to make them available online on our YouTube channel. And so if you have not had a chance to check that out, please do. Sometimes we are not able to record them, but they're relevant. They're always tied to a theme or area of focus that we're trying to work on as a school system, and they're just a tremendous asset for you as parents or guardians. So please look for those. Tonight is really intended to be the first step in a long journey for you over the next number of months to prepare to have your child join us. And we know that there's a lot to think about, especially when you think about preparing for that entry into a school system. That would be the case anywhere. We also, of course, have a nuance here that's so unique for Acton-Boxborough, and that's open enrollment or school choice. And in our particular case, 6 schools that offer something a little bit different across the board, and for something for you to learn more about. Tonight's beginning of that journey is intended to provide you with information. There's a lot of it. But it's positioned to try and begin that process to help inform you, not to overwhelm, and to try and do so in a thoughtful way that will help prepare you to make some choices, some decisions not too far down the road. Marie Altieri is our Deputy Superintendent. She's going to take you through the evening. There will be opportunities for questions and answers after, and I'd like to introduce you to her now. And again, thank you for being here tonight.
Okay, I have a microphone here, so just give me a signal if you can't hear me. Can everybody hear me? Excellent. All right, so welcome, good evening. Welcome to Acton-Boxborough Schools. We're so happy that you are here with us this evening as we welcome you all to our schools and to talk about all the excitement that is ahead for you and for your family. In some respects, it may seem like you've waited a long time to get here, but this is just the beginning of what we hope will be a very exciting journey. The class of 2030. It's a little bit alarming, I think. My name is Marie Altieri. I'm the Deputy Superintendent for the school district. Our registrar, Sally Cunningham, is here with us tonight. Sally, could you stand? Give everybody a wave. I think many of you have already talked to Sally. So she's our elementary registrar, and together we are responsible for registering and placing students in our 6 elementary schools. We also have several other staff members, administrators, and principals here to help answer your questions and to introduce to you. I'm going to pass the microphone around and ask them to introduce themselves.
Hi, my name's Lynn Newman, and I'm the principal of the Gates School.
I'm Chris Whitbeck. I'm the principal of the Douglas School.
Hi, I'm Ed Kaufman, principal at Merriam School.
And I'm David Crane, principal of the McCarthy Town School.
Hi, I'm Dana Labb, principal of Blanchard School.
Hi, I'm Damon Chagru. I'm principal of the Conant School.
Good evening. My name is JD Head. I am not a principal. I'm the Director of Facilities and Transportation. Evening.
Good evening. I'm Lynn Laramie, Coordinator of Special Ed at the elementary level.
Hi, good evening. I'm Pam Smith. I'm the Director of Special Education.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Diane Spring, and I oversee nursing at the elementary level.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Deborah Bookus. I'm the Assistant Superintendent for Teaching and Learning.
Hello, I'm Erin Betez. I'm the Community Ed Director.
Hi there, I'm Kate Murray. I'm the Coordinator of Extended Day for Community Ed. I think I'm the last one.
Okay, thanks. As you can see, we have quite a few people here to start to get to know that will be working with your children. As you embark on this adventure, you are surely experiencing a wide range of emotions. I actually live in Acton, and my kids have gone through the AB schools. I remember vividly what it was like to sit in your seats years ago and the anxiety involved with choosing a school that feels right for your family. Please try to make this as fun and interesting as you can. Here at Acton-Boxborough, we do not have neighborhood schools. Each of our elementary schools has its own unique philosophy, and as parents, you are able to pick which school you believe is the best fit for your family. Once everyone has registered and made their school selections, we will have a lottery for any school which is oversubscribed. We're able to place about 275 of our 300 new students into their first choice school. Through the process of touring and visiting each school, you will have an opportunity to learn a great deal about education in Acton and Boxborough. Here is the timeline for tonight and for the kindergarten registration process. Tonight we will review the kindergarten curriculum, the registration process, and there will be time to answer questions between now and about 8:30 to 8:45. After that, our principals and staff will remain up here for any individual questions you may have. What we're not going to do tonight is talk about how the 6 elementary schools are different. Over the next 2 months, you'll have opportunities to visit each school and to learn all of the things that are wonderful about each individual school. We have an online registration system, and that actually just opened tonight at 5:30, and some of you got on and registered. You actually have between now and March 7th to register. It doesn't matter if you register tomorrow or if you register on March 7th. Everybody is registered equally between now and then. So for those of you who have older students already in a school, you know what school you're going to send your younger student to, by all means register at whatever time is convenient for you. But if you're new to our system and you're going to be touring schools and then making selections about which schools you prefer, you have from now until March 7th to do that, okay? And it doesn't make a difference if it's tomorrow or if it's 2 months from now, okay? The lottery will take place at the end of March, so you have until March 7th to get registered to be in the lottery. We will process all of the registrations. We'll have a lottery at the end of March. This is earlier than we've ever done it, but our new online system is allowing us to do that. And then we will notify families at the very end of March or April 1st as to what school they got into and whether or not they got into all-day kindergarten, if that's what you're looking for. This coming fall, school will open the day after Labor Day, which is Tuesday, September 5th. Your child will be entering a comprehensive pre-K to grade 12 school district. We have 5,700 students from Acton and Boxborough. We have 100 students in our early childhood program, or our preschool. We have about 2,700 across our 6 elementary schools, 900 at the RJ grade junior high school, which serves grades 7 and 8, and almost 1,900 at our high school, which is the building you're in right now. We also have about 100 Acton and Boxborough students attending other schools. The next few slides are going to show you where our 6 elementary schools are and their names and so on. So the Blanchard School is down Route 111 in Boxborough. The McCarthytown and Merriam schools are right here on the school campus. So we call this the school campus. It runs between Route 111 and Hayward Road. And on the campus we have our high school, our junior high school, McCarthytown Elementary, Merriam Elementary, and something we call the administration building, which is where central office is, community education, some of our extended day programs, and our student services offices. If you go across Route 2, you'll see Conant. It's on Taylor Road. Conant is the school that's closest to North Acton and East Acton. If you go west down 111 towards Boxborough, you'll find Douglas and Gates in the West Acton neighborhoods. Your family will have a choice of the 6 elementary schools in either town, and transportation will be provided to students no matter which school they go to or which town they come from. So this is McCarthytown and Merriam. Again, it's right on campus here, just up Charter Road a little bit. And then these are pictures of the 4 outlying schools. Again, Conant is across Route 2. Blanchard is down 111 in Boxborough, and Gates and Douglas are down 111 off of 111 in West Acton. This slide shows the size of our kindergarten class this year and next year. This year's kindergarten has 330 students enrolled in 16 classrooms. We have an average class size in this year's kindergarten of 20.6 students in each class. We are anticipating just under 300 students in next year's class, the class where your students are enrolling. We are planning for 16 classrooms with class sizes ranging between 18 and 20 students in each class. We also offer parents the choice between half-day kindergarten and all-day kindergarten. The all-day kindergarten is an optional fee-based program. If you select all-day K, please know that we have a lottery, and we do usually have a short wait list for seats in each school. The fee for a full year of all-day kindergarten is $4,500. It's paid in 10 monthly payments of $450. In a little while, I'll go into some more detail about that program. As I said, you will have from now until March 7th to decide your preferred schools. When you register, you'll register online, and you need to specify all 6 schools in your order of preference when you register. Even if you say, these are the 2 that I like the best, specify all 6, because when we get into the lottery, if certain schools are full, we want to make sure we know what your next choice would be. About 95% of families will be placed in their first choice school. Since siblings have a priority to the school their older child attends, their older sibling attends, it works out that about 75 to 85% of new families receive their first choice. So of the 300 or so families that will register, about half will have priority as siblings or walkers. The other half will be new families. So let's say 150 new students, new families, and about 20 to 25 of those will not get their first choice at the time of the lottery. If you do not get your first choice, you'll go on a wait list. As new families move in between March and September, new students will be placed in schools that do not have a wait list, making room for students to move into their first choice school. Okay? Of the 20 to 25 who do not get their first choice at the lottery, some number of them will get their first choice before September. And if they don't, they can stay on the wait list for the next year if they choose to do so. In the Acton-Boxborough schools, you will find caring, experienced principals, a rich curriculum, teachers who are exciting and caring, diverse and engaged students, parents who are really committed to their children and their school community, and as a result, you will see children who thrive. Let's take a minute to look through a typical day in the life of a kindergarten student in Acton-Boxborough. One of the most exciting new things for your child will be the experience of riding to school on the big yellow school bus. Our bus drivers are amazing in their ability to make each child feel safe, to get them to and from the right locations every day, and to have them be comfortable on the school bus. When the children arrive at school, they are greeted by a staff member who brings them to their kindergarten classroom. These pictures are real pictures of our kids. Once they get to their classroom, typically the kindergarten day can begin with choice time. This child-directed time is a chance for children to transition into the school day, to explore the classroom, and to interact with their peers. When choice time is over, the class comes together for morning meeting. This is a time for children to practice listening and sharing skills. It is also a time when children are actively engaged in important elements of the kindergarten curriculum. Meeting might include sharing a story, counting the days of school, or a discussion of weather. Teachers give children roles as helpers, which give the children opportunities to develop their sense of responsibility and to experience a taste of leadership, as you can see with the young lady in this picture. After meeting, it's generally time for more instructional time. Sometimes instruction is independent, sometimes it is done in groups, sometimes there are whole class learning activities. As you will see, there's plenty to do, endless fun to be had, and so much to learn. Mathematics in kindergarten, children learn through many hands-on activities. These include counting with blocks, working with geometric shapes, and measurement. Science in kindergarten is a chance for children to improve their observational skills and to become more aware of the world around them. In kindergarten, children work on a variety of pre-literacy and early literacy skills. Reading can be in groups, at listening stations, or student-led. The kindergarten curriculum includes art, music, and physical education. These are weekly specials. They are integrated into the classroom curriculum. They are critical components to the development of our well-rounded students. Value is added to the curriculum through field trips and through the use of outside resources, including visitors and field trips. The kindergarten day includes snack and recess and many opportunities for children to grow and develop socially and emotionally. Love these pictures. After a full day of excitement, friendships, and learning opportunities, it is time to head home. Now, for some of the nuts and bolts of selecting a school and registering for kindergarten. We have some more pictures here of kindergarten students. We have a tentative plan for the numbers of classrooms we're going to have at each school next year. Please understand that these sections per school can change based on total enrollment and requests for all-day kindergarten. Our tentative plan is to have 3 kindergartens at some schools and 2 kindergartens at other schools. The plan for now is to have 3 kindergartens each at Blanchard, Conant, Merriam, and McCarthy Town. In these schools where there will be 3 kindergartens, if there are enough requests for all-day K, we would have 2 all-day kindergartens and 1 half-day kindergarten in each of those schools. If we do not have enough all-day kindergarten requests to fill 2 classrooms, then we would have 2 half-day and 1 all-day. So the whole decision around how many all-day kindergartens to have really depends on the requests of the incoming class. So we try to fill as many as we can. We filled 90% of them last year. And so it's a balance of, in a given school, 2 all-days or 2 half-days of the 3 classrooms, depending on the requests. In most cases, we're able to fill 2 all-day kindergartens and 1 half-day. Gates and Douglas will each have 2 kindergarten classrooms next year. One of those will be half-day, one of those will be full-day. Any school that has just 1 half-day, the half-day will be scheduled mornings all year. If a school happens to have 2 half-days, then there'll be a morning half-day kindergarten and an afternoon half-day kindergarten. Going a little bit slowly on this part because I know there's a lot to it. All right, our elementary schools run on 2 different schedules. 3 of our schools run on what we call the early schedule. 3 of our schools run on what we call the late schedule. And they alternate each year. So next year, Conant, McCarthy Town, and Merriam will be on the early schedule. Blanchard, Douglas, and Gates will be on the late schedule. So when your kids are in kindergarten. When they go to 1st grade, that's going to switch. Okay? The school committee is discussing a slight modification to the times of these schedules. Once they have determined and finalized this work, which should be over the next month or so, we will post that and we will email parents the final school schedule. Okay, so there's an early schedule and a late schedule, right? And we'll send you exactly what that looks like once it's been decided over the next 4 to 6 weeks. All right? We have some early release days built into our schedule, generally on Thursdays. When there is an early release day, there will not be school for PM half-day kindergarten students, for afternoon students, because if there's an early release day, there's no afternoon school. Again, that's only if we have afternoon half-day kindergarten. In order to attend kindergarten, your child needs to be 5 years old by September 1st. If your child's birthday is actually on September 1st, you can decide whether to send them or not send them. So the actual day of December 1st, they could go in either class, all right? If they turn 5 after September 1st, we cannot register them, okay? So the child needs to be 5 by September 1st or on September 1st. If they have a summer birthday, a late August birthday, and you're considering not sending them, please contact our early childhood coordinator. His name is Joe Gibowitz, and he can help you if you have any questions about that decision. We have what we call priority enrollment. So when you register for school, there are certain categories of students that have a priority to their first choice school. The school committee has determined criteria by which families have priority, and there are 4 different reasons that a family could have priority to a specific elementary school. If a family has priority, they are not placed in the lottery, they are automatically placed in that school. The first and most common reason that a family has priority to a particular school is because they have an older child that attends or has attended that school. If a student has a sibling who has attended that school, then the younger sibling will automatically be admitted to that school. This allows families to be in the same school, on the same schedule, and part of the same school community. The second possible reason for priority is if a family lives within a 1-mile safe walk to a particular elementary school. If you believe that you live within a 1-mile safe walk of an elementary school, you put that on your registration. Our transportation department will evaluate each request for what we call walker status, and their decision will be final. There also has to be room at that school for those walkers. So in the rare case where we admit all the siblings and we have more walkers than we have seats to a school, we're going to have to determine walkers by those that are actually closest within that 1 mile. There are a couple of our schools that are in big neighborhoods, so we have to be prepared for that possibility. The third reason that priority is granted is for students who have special education needs. Occasionally, those students are placed at a specific elementary school. If that happens, it's part of a team decision. Most kids with special education needs can be placed at any of our 6 elementary schools. The last priority that we have is something we call the hometown guarantee. Families who live in Boxborough, if they want their child to attend the Blanchard Memorial School, or if they want their child to attend school in their hometown, they can specify on their registration the hometown guarantee. If they do so, they will have a priority to attend the Blanchard Memorial School, and their child will be placed there. If you live in Acton and you choose the hometown guarantee, that means you can go to one of the Acton elementary schools. It doesn't mean you can specify a single one of them. There are 5 in Acton. So if you live in Acton and you specify the hometown guarantee, that means your child will not be placed at the Boxborough Blanchard Memorial School. In fact, we have many children who go cross town. So we have about 60 kids from Acton attending the Blanchard Memorial School, and we have about 40 kids from Boxborough attending school in Acton. This has helped to completely make our Acton and Boxborough Regional School District a complete community. We throw this in here because we always get the question, if I have twins, what does that mean with the lottery? If you have twins, you specify your preferred schools, and if your first choice school has a lottery, if one of your children gets into that school, your second child will also get into that school. So we're not going to split them up across schools. Similarly, if you request all-day kindergarten, if one of them gets into all-day kindergarten, the second one will get into all-day kindergarten. So they'll be in the same school and on the same schedule if that's what you request. Now, of course, if you want them across town from each other, we could accommodate that as well. As I said earlier, most children with special needs can be placed at any of the 6 elementary schools. If a child does need to be placed at a specific school for a specific program, it will be discussed at the team meeting, and you'll be aware of that. We have support programs for children for whom English is not their primary language in every school. The registration form has questions related to spoken languages. We ask you to fill that out to give our English language education teachers more information to help your students as they arrive in our schools. The English language education teachers will screen each student who may have a need for English language education services. It is available in all elementary schools. However, we may have to restrict placement at certain schools if they have excessively high English language education enrollment. All right, so the registration schedule, there's a handout that you have. It's a one-pager. You may want to put this on your fridge or something. But it's called the 2017-2018 Kindergarten Registration Schedule. There's a lot of information here. There are a lot of dates here. The first date that you see is tonight. So you all made it here, Tuesday, January 10th, 7 p.m. This is our overview of the kindergarten process. And starting next Tuesday, we'll have evening meetings in each elementary school. And those will go on each Tuesday throughout the rest of January and February. And the dates are all here. The only exception to that is that the Conant evening is on a Wednesday, February 15th, because we knew you wouldn't want to be touring schools on Valentine's Day. So over the next 2 months, you'll have an opportunity to visit schools in the evening for an information session and during the day while school is in session. And you can visit each school or as many as you'd like to visit. There are 4 dates set aside for the daytime tours, and they are also on this schedule. January 17th, there's a slide here for this, so you don't have to write it down, but January 17th, January 23rd, February 8th, and February 13th. So what we'll ask you to do is, starting tomorrow, call and schedule yourself for whatever tours you want to go to during the school day. We ask you not to bring children to the daytime tours because we have the adults touring the school while school is in session, coming in and out of classrooms and the like. So there's an evening information session where you'll meet the principal, the assistant principal, and all the staff. And you'll be able to tour in the evening and learn a lot about the curriculum and the program and the philosophy of a particular school. And then there are daytime tours where you can visit during the day and see school in session with the kids and so on. Lots of opportunity to get your questions answered. This goes on through the end of February. And again, by March 7th, you're going to want to be ready to make that decision and enroll and specify the 6 schools in your order of preference. So it says pre-registration online opens January 11th. We got it up tonight, so 5:30 tonight. You can register anytime that you want. I'm going to go over some details about what you'll need to register. It needs to be completed by March 7th. And then the lottery and result notification takes place by the end of March. These are the daytime tours, all right? I went through those dates. They're set up so you could actually do as many as 3 in a day. If you're a working family and you'd like to tour 3 schools on one day, 3 schools on another day, or if you want to pick and choose how many you want to tour. The schedules are here. Again, you want to call the school to sign up for a tour. During school tours and parent evenings, you want to ask about what makes the faculty and parents most proud. They'll be glad to tell you. There will be parents available, PTO chairs and the like for some of the evening information sessions. Ask about the school staffing and the school structure. What role do parents play in the life of a school? What are the school's goals, their improvement plan, etc.? What's really special in that school to that community? Watch and listen to how people relate to one another. These are the dates for the parent information evenings. Again, they start next Tuesday, and they go through till the end of February. If there's a snow day for the school district, then any postponed evening will be held the next evening. Now, I haven't said this yet, but on our website, if you go to abschools.org, right on the front page, there's a student registration link. I bet most of you have already found that. When you click on that, you get to a registration page that has all kinds of information. In the kindergarten registration section, you have the ability to sign up for email information about kindergarten registration. If you haven't done that, we encourage you to do that. We've had a large number of people already do that. I think it's in the 240s, and we're projecting just under 300 families total. What we will do is if there's any change to the schedule, a snow day or anything like that, we will email you and let you know. And anything else sort of along the way, we'll certainly email reminders that March 7th is coming and the deadline and so on. When you're trying to make a decision, consider who your child is and what kind of settings would work for him or her. Consider which setting makes you feel the most comfortable. The school that you choose will be part of your family for many years to come. All right, this is the link to the online registration. All of this information is there, so all the things you picked up tonight are there. How to sign up for emails is there. The registration, the actual online registration is there. And then there's a video of this presentation that will be posted there once it's edited. Please understand when you sign up for emails, you haven't registered your child. So that happened last year. We had a couple people who put in their email address to say they were interested in receiving emails about registration, and then they thought their child was registered for kindergarten. There's actually a full registration program that you need to go through, the link of which is also on this website. There are certain documentation that you're going to need to register your child. You can upload that documentation through this website, through the online registration program. All right, so we're going to show you what those documents are. If you have trouble uploading them, you can come in and we will help you do it, or you can just bring the documents in during. We have a couple of registration sessions you can come in. So if you haven't yet, do provide your email and contact info. There's a little form on the website, and we will keep you updated to any changes. If you have a sibling in the schools, all you have to do to register is that online program. You go into the online program, you fill out your information, you provide the documentation that's listed here, the birth certificate, proof of residency, the immunization record, and a physical, a parent photo ID, and then there's a residency affidavit. You fill those all out, you upload them, and then we take care of the rest. If you're a new family, we do ask you to come in, okay? We have 2 dates set for you to come in, Tuesday, March 14th in the evening between 5 and 8 p.m., or Wednesday, March 15th between 8 a.m. and 12 noon. That way we'll look at the residency material that you bring, we'll look at the child's birth certificate, our nurses will be here to look at their health form and their immunization record, and so on. So to be clear, between now and March 7th, everyone's going to go online and register their student. If you already have kids in the school and we already have your information, you do not have to come in and hand things to us. You can upload them. But you do have to provide the documentation, the birth certificate, the proof of residency, etc. If you're a first-time family, we ask you to come in on March 14th or March 15th to bring in copies of those materials, okay? It's a relatively quick process when you get here. If you are out of town that week, call or email our registrar and we'll find another time for you to come in, okay? All right, the health forms, your doctor needs to provide for you a current immunization form and a record of an up-to-date physical. The physical has to have taken place within a year of September 1st, 2017. So within the year before school starts, if you will. All right? When you register, if your child's physical is going to expire between now and September, you can still give us a copy of last year's physical and then just give us an updated one when you go before September 1st. Okay? And otherwise, once you go, just send it in. We want you to upload it into the online registration system. As we get close to school, you could always bring it to the school health office. Am I good, Diane? Our nurse leaders over here? All right. We really need to have them in by July 31st. Okay, the only exceptions to that are August physicals, but please give us last year's August physical so that we have it on board. We work really hard to meet the medical needs of all of our students, and so having the detailed physical in advance allows us to make sure that we have everything in place to do that. All right, the next few slides we're going to talk about all-day kindergarten. Again, this is optional. Some families prefer half-day, some families prefer all-day. The all-day K curriculum, the half-day K curriculum, the curriculum's the same between the two programs. They cover the same curriculum. The difference is one of pace, more time for social development, and enrichment. In both Acton and Boxborough, each classroom is a dedicated half-day classroom or a full-day classroom. All-day kindergarten is optional. As I said earlier, it costs $4,500 for the year. It's paid in 10 monthly installments of $450. And we can set people up with a credit card payment and so on. What we'll do is you register in March. We have a lottery by the end of March. We notify you early April that you're in all-day K or you're in half-day K and what school you're in. If you're in all-day kindergarten, we require a 1-month deposit by May 15th. That's how we know we're definitely holding a spot for you, because we will have a waiting list in certain schools. And by May 15th, if we have folks who are not submitting the deposit, that means they're pulling out and there's a spot there for somebody else who wanted it in that school. So the first month payment is due May 15th. The second monthly payment is due August 1st, and then monthly after that, from August to April. Okay? If you withdraw from all-day kindergarten after August 1st, we're expecting the full year's tuition to be paid because we've held that spot for that child. Okay? And we don't have kids moving between all day and half day in the middle of the school year. The all-day kindergarten lottery takes place at the same time as the school lottery, but we do the school lottery first, the all-day K lottery second. So what we mean by that is we place everybody in a school, right, based on first choice, second choice, etc. Once you're in your school, then we look at the all-day K counts, the half-day K counts, and if we need a lottery for all-day kindergarten, we have that lottery within that school, the list of kids in that school. Again, we'll confirm the number of all-day classrooms after we see how many students have enrolled in all-day. So last year, we had 2 all-day and 1 half-day in every school that had 3 classrooms. And then the schools that had 2 classrooms had an all-day and a half-day, or some combination. We had 330 kindergartners, and there were 18 kids on the wait list for all day across 330 kids. So we were able to place by far the vast majority, 90% of those who wanted all day got all day. It depends year to year how many people request in each school. Okay? We also have before and after school care available in lots of different forms across the district. Okay? So if your child goes to half-day kindergarten, there's a half-day child care program available to them, extended day program available to them. So if they are in morning kindergarten, there's an afternoon kindergarten extended day program to which they can attend. In the middle of the year, if they switch to afternoon kindergarten, there's a morning extended day program available to them. We also have before school starting at 7 a.m., after school going up until 6 p.m. Okay? All right, so the before and after school extended day programs are available in each school and the administration building. Half-day kindergarten students can sign up for extended day, which is in the administration building. Now remember, the administration building is here on campus. Okay? So there are extended day programs in schools and on campus. All right? So our community education program runs extended day programs for K through 6 at the Gates School, the Conant School. There's a program for McCarthy Town students. It's at the administration building, which is right next door there to McCarthy Town. We walk the kids over with a leader. And there's a half-day kindergarten program. It's run by community education, and it's here in the administration building on campus. So if your kids are in half-day kindergarten at Gates, they can take a bus to the half-day kindergarten extended day program on campus here. Okay, and that's an example, but it's true from any school. So if your child is in half-day kindergarten, the extended day kindergarten half-day program is a wonderful program. It's kindergartners only, and they'll take a bus from their school to the administration building, unless they're right on campus here where they'll be walked over. We also have some school-based programs. Blanchard has the Blanchard Extended Day program. Douglas has the Douglas Work and Play program, and Merriam has the Merriam After Hours program. If you go to any of those 3 schools, you'll hear more details about their before and after school programs at the information nights in those schools, and you can enroll in them once you're enrolled in the school. So the bottom line is there's before and after school programming available for students across all 6 schools, and there are even multiple options. All right? They can do it in their school, or they can do it at the administration building. And it's available across the district from 7 a.m. until school starts, and from the end of school until 6 p.m. There were several flyers when you came in about the various extended day programs. Just a little note here, because we've run into this with some families. Flexible spending accounts for childcare. Some of you may be using those. There are childcare reimbursement accounts or flexible spending accounts. our understanding, we're not giving tax advice here, but our understanding is that flexible spending pre-tax dollars accounts can be used for childcare, like extended day programs, before school programs, after school programs, but they cannot be used for all-day kindergarten because all-day kindergarten is a school tuition program, not a childcare program. So we just want folks to know that in advance. Again, those are options here. You can request to enroll in all-day kindergarten, or you can request to enroll in extended day with half-day kindergarten. Again, check with your tax advisor to get clarity on that. So I've already talked about this. The other half of the kindergarten day, we call it half-day kin. It's extended day. Community Education runs a program. It's here on campus in the administration building. I said all this already. If your child's in morning kindergarten, they can go to this in the afternoon. If your child's in afternoon kindergarten, they can go to this program in the morning. And if they're in a school that switches from AM to PM, from morning to afternoon in the middle of the year, then their enrollment switches in the administration building. That's all assuming we have enrollment to fill a classroom in the morning and in the afternoon. And here's just a little diagram of what could happen if you're in half-day kindergarten. If your child needs before school extended day, 7 a.m. until school starts, then they bus to school. They go to AM kindergarten. At the end of kindergarten, they can bus back to the half-day kindergarten program at extended day. And then they could go from the half-day kindergarten program to the afternoon extended day program, which is in the same place until 6 p.m. Got that right? Extended day, folks? Registering for extended day programs. For the community education program, the registration forms will be available starting next week on January 16th. They're accepted on an ongoing basis throughout the kindergarten registration process. The school-based programs that are held at Blanchard, Douglas, and Merriam, you'll register for those programs after you find out what school you get into. Then you can enroll in the before and after school. So I can see sort of a question about, well, what if I don't know? So extended day starts on January 16th. You can enroll in extended day in January, February, and so on. Then if you get in all day and you don't need half-day kindergarten, you can withdraw, all right, from the half-day extended day kindergarten program in lieu of getting into all-day kindergarten. We do a lot of that. We're part of the same district, so we're always watching each other, the lottery, and so on. And so Community Ed gets the list of who's in all day, and we make the switches and so on and so forth. All right? So if there's any doubt, if you need extended day, you want to register for it. And then if you find out you're in a school, you're in all-day kindergarten as an example, or you get into a school-based extended day program, then you can make the switch with Community Ed. Okay? And that's what this says. To be safe, sign up for Community Ed. There's a $40 registration, non-refundable fee if you withdraw later to sign up for another program. If you move to all-day kindergarten, your $40 will be refunded. The school-based programs, again, that's Merriam, Douglas, and Blanchard, will be described in detail at that school's information night for kindergarten. Flyers are available. Registration in those programs takes place after you're placed in that school. And again, you can withdraw from Community Ed at that time. All right, I'm getting to the end here. So to summarize kindergarten registration, you want to call the schools to book your tours, all right? Call in the next day or two or three. Information evenings are Tuesday nights. They start next Tuesday at the McCarthy Town School. The only one that's not on a Tuesday is Conant, which is Wednesday, February 15th. So each Tuesday from next Tuesday until February 28th, there's a school information night, so there are 6 of them. The school lottery is held in late March. Register online by March 7th. Receive email notifications. You will receive an email notification after the lottery telling you what school you're placed in and whether you're in all day or half day. If you don't get your first choice school, we put you on a wait list for your first choice school, and we call you if there is an opening. The all-day kindergarten deposit, $450, is due May 15th. Once students are placed in each school, an all-day K-lottery is held for each school. All right, so we place kids in schools first, in all-day second, within that school. What if you don't get your first choice? We keep wait lists for every school. Your placement email will tell you where you are on the wait list. All right? So you've picked school A, all-day kindergarten. You're going to get an email. It's either going to say you were placed in your first choice, or it's going to say you were placed in school B, but you're number 3 on the wait list for school A. That's how it will work. Similarly, it will either say you got into all day at your school, or it will say you're not in all day, but you're number 2 on the wait list for all day, or you're number 5 on the wait list for all day. And then we keep those lists running, and as soon as we have an opening, we make a call, and we let you know, and then you can decide at that point, do you want to move to that first choice school or to all-day kindergarten, or you can deny the request at that time. We only move kids in the summer. All right, so we'll do it right up until just before school starts. The minute we have an opening, we'll call the first person on the wait list. And we do get openings because we have a lot of move-ins and a lot of move-outs. All right? Once school starts, we keep the wait list in place, but we don't keep moving kids. The following summer, we'll send you a letter or an email and we'll say, do you still want to be on the wait list for school A? You tell us yes or no. If you do, then that summer we will try to move you. And between kindergarten and first grade, we always get a lot more kids, which means we have openings to be able to move people. All right? All-day kindergarten, we also keep wait lists. Like I said, last year across 6 schools, we had 18 on the wait list, which was not a lot. And by the time school started, I think we had 4 on the wait list, other than maybe some new kids who moved in August. So we were able to really do a good job of accommodating everybody's request for all day and for half day. Again, we'll call you as soon as a spot opens up. We have the deadline May 15th early on purpose so that we can make those seats available to people on the wait list if anybody's going to withdraw from all day K. Okay, so again, go to the website, spend some time looking at what's there. There's a whole kindergarten handbook. It talks about all 6 elementary schools. There's a message from each principal in it. Come to kindergarten information night tonight, which is where we are. Again, registration is open now through March 7th. Your child must be 5 by September 1st. And so this is right off the website, and then there's a link there. Sign up here for updates on kindergarten registration and to let us know about siblings and so on. So we asked folks who gave us their email address whether or not they're siblings, so that we could have some data to share with you about seats in each school. So we have that here. So we already have 241 incoming students' contact information, and we know whether or not they are siblings. Again, by being siblings, they have priority to a particular school. So this chart shows you that of the 241 we've heard from, we have 125 siblings. Okay? This is comparable to last year. We were about half and half, siblings and non-siblings. All right? Of the 125 siblings we know about, they're distributed among the schools, the way you see in the second column there, ranging from 17 in a school to 24 in a school. The schools that have 3 kindergartens, we're estimating 55 seats. The schools that have 2 kindergartens, we're estimating 38 seats. So roughly 19 kids in a class. Now we may get more, we may get fewer. All right, so we'll adjust those seats based on the number of kids we actually get registered. But we thought this was fairly good information for you to have, and we'll put it on our website and we'll update it occasionally throughout the process. All right, so what we know is that the schools that have 3 kindergartens, all right, so they have 17 siblings at Conant, 19 at Blanchard, 23 at Merriam, 22 at McCarthytown, right, quite a few open seats, 33 to 38 open seats. Douglas and Gates only have 2 kindergartens, so there are 38 seats there. And we already know that we have 24 siblings at Douglas. Douglas happens to also be the school that gets a lot of walkers because it's in the Indian Village neighborhood. So this happened last year. It looks like it could be happening this year. There are probably not going to be a lot of open seats at Douglas. Could potentially also happen at Gates, although there are fewer siblings. And for whatever reason, there appear to be fewer walkers there, although they're relatively close to each other. So this is just some preliminary information from which you can work. As I said, later on in the process, we'll update it again. But this is what we know as of right now. So that's the 125 siblings. And then the remaining families of the 241 that we have contact information for, we're not going to know what schools they select until after March 7th. Okay? All right, deep breath. Remember to enjoy the process. Your child will have a wonderful kindergarten experience. Going through this process, visiting all the schools, hearing from our educators gives you an opportunity to learn a great deal about all 6 schools, as well as the development of 5-year-olds. See how happy the children are in each of the schools. There are advantages to every school and every program, and it's simply a matter of finding the program that feels the most right to you and your family. It sounds a little cliche, but we really mean this. You can't make a bad choice. Each of these schools is wonderful. There are lots of handouts there. That 1-pager gives you the schedule. Please get that in your calendar. There are flyers for extended day. The policies are there. I went over the details here. We gave you a copy of the proof of residency affidavit. We ask you to give us a copy of, or show us your lease, your mortgage payment, or your purchase and sale. So here's a question that we get. I've been in my house for 15 years. We don't need your purchase and sale. A copy of your mortgage bill and a utility bill is what we need. All right? But if you're moving to Acton or Boxborough over the next few months, we need to see a purchase and sale before we can register your student. All right, and the proof of residency affidavit, you're going to sign that. And again, you're going to show us a utility bill and a mortgage payment or your purchase and sale. We need to see a copy of your driver's license as a identification for the parent guardian. And we need the birth certificate for the student, and the health form, and the immunization form. So they're all in the list there. And the details are on the website and in the handouts. Sally Cunningham is our registrar. She was brave. She put her phone number here. Her email, you can email her at scunningham@abschools.org or just at registrar@abschools.org. And we're going to open it up in just a minute for questions. Okay. All right, just so you know, we are being taped, and the videotape will be on cable, and we're going to edit it and put it on the registration website. So you can go back and look at pieces of the presentation if you want, and folks who weren't able to make it here tonight can see it. For that reason, we ask you to come up to a microphone with your questions so that the people watching from home can hear the question as well as the answer. And we have all of our administrators here to help answer questions. So I'm sure there are questions. Why don't you come up to either microphone, and we'll go about another 15 minutes or so with questions.
I guess I'm the brave first questioner, and this is going to prove extreme ignorance on my part. What are the general hours? I know it's not set in stone yet, but what are the general hours that the kindergarten day starts and stops?
Yeah, sure. I thought about sort of trying to say that. I can tell you that this year's schedule, the early schedule starts at, I can do this, at 8:40, and it ends at 2:50. That's the early schedule. And the late schedule starts at 9:20 and ends at 3:30. All right? So those are the rough hours. And that's when all day would be scheduled. Okay, so I should have put this on a slide, this year's schedule. Yeah. Okay, so one more time. Early schedule for the whole day, for full day kindergarten and grades 1 through 6, early schedule is 8:40 to 2:50. The half day is 8:40 to 11:15-ish, 11:15. Okay, so half day mornings is 8:40 to 11:15. The late schedule is 9:20 to 3:30, and half day is 9:20 to 12. Okay. I'm sorry I didn't put that on a slide. There's consideration about the starting time potentially being a bit earlier. But other than that, it's going to be roughly what I just gave you. Okay? I'm sorry, I'll come to you in just a sec. Go ahead.
A couple of questions. The first one is, even if the residence is within 1 mile of the first choice of school, can we still opt for a bus transportation?
JD, do you want to answer?
The reason being the child is probably never walked alone to school, and there is a main road from the residence to school.
Under our current practices, we transport everyone, regardless of where they are. We offer transportation to them. So the answer to that would be yes.
Okay, thank you. The second question.
But can I just add to that, JD, correct me if I'm wrong, but if you're on a major road and you're on the far side of it, you may not be approved, though, as a walker because it needs to be a safe walk.
That is correct. You'll be evaluated based on the safety of that walk. So if you could be across Route 2, very, very close to Conant, but that would not be considered a safe walk to school.
That's exactly my situation.
There you go. Yeah.
All right. The second question is, what is the difference between pre-registration and registration?
Okay, great question. So when you do the full online registration, and it's going to take half an hour to do, 40 minutes, there are many questions. We consider that to be pre-registration because you're not fully registered until we've then gone through it, looked at all the documents, and placed you in a school. So your job is really pre-registration, and then we complete the registration on our end. And just so folks know, that means that everything automatically gets transferred into PowerSchool, which is our student information system. So that information will be available to you later on as well, and so on. Does that make sense? So sure. What we call pre-registration here is really what you probably are going to think of as registration. But you're not officially enrolled in a school yet because we haven't had the lottery, we haven't placed you in a school, we haven't reviewed the documents yet.
Thank you.
Okay? All right, over here.
Okay, so you gave 2 dates. So you said online to register by March 7th, but then you said for new families you have to physically turn in the documentations on the 14th. So how does that work? Because we don't want to lose like our spot, say. So if we just register as far as we can on the website, and
Right, and you can upload all the materials. Sally, do you want to address that? JD will pass you the mic.
Hi, yes. You can upload the documents online, even though you're a new family. All families should upload the documents. That gives us a chance, or me a chance, to review them all to see what we need. But we do need to see the original documents for new families. So bring in the original birth certificates and your purchase and sale, or whatever it might be, whether it's a statement or a utility bill, whatever, on those 2 times in March.
So between the 7th and the 14th, we're going to go through, we're going to place all the siblings in their schools, and we're going to review the materials for new families. If you had everything uploaded exactly the way we need it, when you come in on the 14th or 15th, it's going to be a very quick visit. We're going to have you in the database. We're going to say, you're all set, we've got everything. Or we might say, oh, your physical, we needed it to have this. Can you get that before school starts? Or whatever it might be. Okay? All right, go ahead, and then we'll go over here.
Hi. I have 2 questions. I'll try and keep it quick. On your pre-registration information that you showed of the siblings and the seats available and things like that, is there any indication of the siblings, how many will be requesting all day versus half day?
Yeah, we do not know that. So we don't, all we have is the form that we ask people to give us their email address, and on that form we ask if they're a sibling. We haven't asked if they're going to request all day.
I thought it did.
Oh, it does? I'm sorry.
So I didn't know if there was a tally or a general idea of those X amount of seats we're thinking this many might be.
So there's one thing I'll say about that. Nobody has priority to all-day kindergarten. So if you're a sibling, you don't have any more priority than a new family.
Okay.
So that's part of why we didn't put it up here, because we don't want people to think that means those seats are taken. They're not.
Okay.
All right, so siblings have priority to the school, but not to all-day K. I'm glad you brought that up, because I should have said that earlier. So, Sally, is there any more to say about that? Okay.
The other, you had said that there are some schools that will switch morning and afternoon sessions halfway through the year. Which schools do that?
Okay, so we may or may not have schools that switch. The only way we'll have a school that switches is if it's a school that has 3 kindergartens and there aren't enough kids for 2 all days. If there aren't enough kids for 2 all days, we'll have 2 half days. One would be in the morning, one would be in the afternoon, and we would have them switch in the middle of the year. This year we had none of those because we were able to fill 2 all days in every school that had 3 kindergartens. So I can't say now, it really depends on enrollment.
What is the benefit of switching halfway through?
If we have 3 in a school and one is, and there are 2 half days, they tend to share a classroom, so we have one in the morning and one in the afternoon. And so then halfway through the year we have them switch so that they're balanced throughout the year, so every child gets the same experience. And we have early releases in the afternoons some of the time, so switching means they all have the same number of days of school across the year.
Thank you.
Okay? All right, how about over here?
I'm a little confused about the lottery system. Okay. So does the lottery decide the all-day and the half-day kindergarten, or just the priority of the school?
We run 2 separate lotteries. The first lottery determines the school, and then everybody's placed in a school. And then once we have everyone in a school, we go to each school, not physically go to the school, but we go to the 70 kids in a school or the 55 kids in a school. We figure out how many ask for all day, how many ask for half day, and then if the numbers don't work out exactly right, then we have a lottery within that school. So if we have 2 all days and 1 half day in a school, and we have 40 seats for all day, but we had 44 kids request it, we put all 44 kids' names in the lottery, and 4 kids will be on the wait list.
So at that point, can we choose another school which is not the first priority, which has an all-day kindergarten option open, or we just have to be in the wait list?
So the answer is maybe. So you could pick another school if there are seats in that school and seats in all day.
And what would be the basis of communication, of email? Who would be the point of contact?
The registrar, Sally, and we'll notify people, you know, if there are seats available. We honestly don't strongly recommend that because you're picking a school for 7 years for that child, or maybe more if you have multiple children. So to switch schools back and forth because of all day, we try not to do that. That's one of the main reasons we place the school first. That being said, if that's really important to you, we can talk about it, but we place in the school first. And remember, there's a great extended day program for the other half of the day, which kids thrive in as well. So there are good options either way. Okay? Okay.
Hi. I have a couple questions. So I know you talked about we're not going to talk about differences between the schools, but just a simple question. Do all schools follow the same curriculum or the same materials, or that kind of is a school-based decision?
I'm going to ask our Assistant Superintendent for Teaching and Learning, Deborah Bookus, to speak to that. Sure.
So all of the schools follow the same standards. So the kindergarten standards are the same. How they approach those standards might be a little bit differently. And it might also be with some different materials and different instructional practices. And those are the kinds of things you'll learn on the tours at each school.
Okay. So as a follow-up question, I was not sure if Acton-Boxborough as a district offer any accelerated programs after kindergarten, and is it like no to all, or only some schools offer, or all schools offer?
Accelerated programs?
So no, we don't.
No.
None of the schools do.
None of the schools do. Okay, thank you.
So we differentiate in every classroom to meet the needs of kids at all levels within that classroom. Okay, go ahead.
I have a question. Thank you for taking my question. So it's my understanding that if you enroll in half-day or full-day kindergarten, you know, the kids are bused to and from school. If you do early morning and extended day, what's the?
Okay.
How does the school busing work?
Kate Murray from Extended Day will talk about
Hi there.
that.
If you choose, if you're going to use Extended Day in the morning, you will bring your child to the Extended Day program wherever it might be, at the Conant School, the Gate School, or the administration building. Transportation will be provided at, let's say, the half day. Let's say they go to Extended Day or go to a half-day kindergarten, then a bus will be provided from the school to the community ed building. And then there's pickup by the parent at night, either at the end of the school day, at whatever time school ends, at kindergarten would end, or at 6 p.m., up until 6 p.m. when you wanted to pick your child up.
So if you just opt for the morning, then the kid will be dropped off in the evening? After the half-day kindergarten ends?
Yeah, so after school, after your child goes to school and is in kindergarten, either for the half-day program or for the full-day kindergarten program, a bus will be provided to our extended day program. So your only responsibility would be picked up at the end of the day.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead.
So my first question is, if the child gets enrolled...
Come a little closer to the mic, please. Sorry, thank you.
If the child is enrolled in all-day kindergarten, can we also choose community education like extended day?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, and the second question, I know you mentioned that you encourage us not to bring kids for the tours, but is there a way for the kid to, like, you know, get a feel of the school that they might be attending?
How about the principals? Somebody want to? Lynn, go ahead.
Because I feel they're quite, competent to make some decisions, and I'd really like, my kid to get a feel of it.
So the biggest reason that we don't have the kids join us on the tour is because we're going into the classrooms, and kids get a little antsy, as the tour continues. And I would say that it's a very big decision. You're looking at the curriculums, you're looking at the space, you're meeting staff, and I think we would all agree that that's a decision that will be made by parents. That being said, coming before or after school, visiting, a lot of the kids are familiar with the buildings. They may have come to Gates to play basketball in the gym. So the spaces are different in each building, but I think it's the philosophy and the curriculum programs that you see in each school that will really probably drive your decision.
Okay, so you mentioned like after school they could probably look at the facilities and stuff.
So the buildings are open. You know, all the buildings are open. There wouldn't be tours available. You know, we wouldn't be giving individual tours for the children. But you can certainly come into the buildings, walk around.
Okay.
I'll add a little bit to that. So, and the playgrounds are available, you know, off hours and so on. I would caution you a little bit. We have had situations where parents have really had this conversation with their kids and their kids have their heart set on a particular school and then maybe they don't get into that school. And then we're not only explaining it to the parents, we're explaining it to a 5-year-old. So it's just, you want to be careful because there's a big process and...
yeah, got it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I would also add that if you have more than one child, in the sense that you're trying to meet the needs of one child, you have maybe a second or third child. And so, you know, you're really picking a school for your family.
Yeah. Thank you. Go ahead. We'll take a few more questions and then we'll break, and if people have other questions, we'll stay up here and answer them individually. Okay, go ahead.
If my child has a severe food allergy, are we supposed to submit any other health form during the registration process?
Okay, good question. Our nurse leader, Diane Spring.
Hi. Yes, do you have a current child in the school district? Okay, so when you come, not only will you upload your documents for the pre-registration, you'll be coming to one of the live dates. And so there will be nurses, I will have nurses staffing that, and we'll have forms to give you. But if you want to get ahead of the game, if you go on to the district website under health and nursing, it'll link you to the nursing website, and there are uploadable forms. In one of them, you'll see emergency health care plan, if epinephrine were to be given, or Benadryl, whatever the doctor had prescribed. But if you don't want to do that all ahead of time, you'll have a one-on-one talking with the nurse, and we can help you through that process. So don't feel the pressure that you have to do it. But if you do go to that website, you'll see our whole life-threatening allergy policy and procedures, which may reassure you as well and put you in a better position to discuss that when you meet with the nurse. Okay? All right.
Great. Go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll come there just after. Go ahead.
Okay, 3 hopefully quick questions. One, I understand there's the age cutoff of being 5 by September 1st, which is fine. I've also heard a lot about families intentionally holding summer birthdays back an extra year for a variety of reasons, including academic advantage and so forth. Is there a cutoff that the school district has in mind where you wouldn't have, for example, I have a son who's a July birthday. He turns 5 in July. Is he going to be in kindergarten with someone who turned, 6 in May or something like that? What happens in that situation?
Occasionally. So how about one of our principals want to speak to this? Dr. Whitbeck?
There can be 11 months between 2 children in a class, and our kindergarten teachers all know that very well, and they really meet the kids where they are and bring them forward. So it's not a one-size-fits-all for the kindergarten.
Is there any cutoff? I mean, do you have kids who turn 6 in March, or is February? You're going to have a year and a half difference between children in kindergarten?
No, there's a first grade requirement.
Right. Okay. So we don't have a formal cutoff, nor do we see kids being withheld before, not starting if they had a March birthday. We have kids who are retained sometimes, and their birthdays can be varied throughout the year, but kids are very developmentally different. when they're 4 and when they're 5 and when they're 6. So you will see a range, but as Chris said, we're meeting the kids' needs. It's almost always that mid-July to late August range of kids for whom they're on the cusp. And we do have our early childhood coordinator is ready and available to speak with any families to help evaluate. We get preschool write-ups to help with the decisions and so on.
Morning half-day kindergarten is something our family is very interested in. I understand you have the situation where a school, if it has 2 half-days, may be switching. Is there, if it's important to our family to have a morning kindergarten program and see it being kind of disruptive, frankly, to have to switch to afternoon halfway through the year, is there any way to guarantee a morning half-day?
I would encourage you to pick the school that you're most comfortable with. Most of our schools are going to have just a morning kindergarten, and if they don't, then we can sort of deal with it after the fact. Okay?
And then my last question is, you talked about the differences between the all-day and half-day program. I'm still kind of struggling with what are the potential reasons a family might choose all-day kindergarten, apart from maybe needs for more coverage during the day for childcare and other things like that.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of families that feel that the slower pace, the longer day, gives more opportunity to move a little more slowly through the pieces of the day. There's lunch, there's more socialization for that reason. There are field trips and that kind of thing. So yeah, all families have different priorities, and many like all day and many like half day. And so we're happy we can offer both.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead. Sorry.
My question actually follows really nicely from that one. So just thinking about the difference between all-day kindergarten versus doing a half-day kindergarten and then going to the community ed program, can somebody talk a little bit about what the differences would be there and how would we decide what we want?
Kate, do you want to talk? Deb, how do you want to do it?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, so the full day K, so the afternoon part after children would have lunch and recess and rest time. There might be some more opportunity to continue some of the work from the morning, so maybe more exploration, some practice, some games, conversations, maybe some observations, and playtime, which we think is really important. So there'll just be some continuity that starts from the beginning of the day all the way to the end. If I can let Kate talk a little bit about their program.
So for a child that does a half-day program at any of the schools, as we said earlier, they'd be bused over to our program. Again, it's not the same curriculum that's been offered during the school day, during a half-day program, but there is a curriculum in place led by a teacher that's been there for many years. One in particular, our kindergarten teacher right now, she's very art-based. So every month there's an artist that's featured. So that typically the children are more or less required to do the curriculum that she's laid out for that day. There is kind of a quiet book area. There's not necessarily a specific rest time. There's gym time. There's always outdoor time. She always plays classical music during lunch. So there are differences between the two, but I would say that our half-day kindergarten program that fills out that school day is more structured in a kindergarten type of way than, let's say, a 3 to 6 later PM extended day program. There are, certain opportunities for kids to continue some of the learning that they've done in different ways, just because we offer a different classroom. And there are also children from all 6 of the schools that come to our program. So some kids like to mix it up and say, oh, I saw my friends at Miriam during the day, and now I'm going to come over here and be with lots of other kids. So again, it does depend a little bit on what your child is like, and if they can, would like a switch and more activities later on in the half day.
Yeah, I just wanted to add one thing to that. So whatever opportunities children have for learning, so whether it's the full day program, whether it's half day and they're back at home with you in your care, whether they're at the extended day program, a child care provider situation. As a former first grade teacher, I saw children from all those different venues. And as Dr. Whitbeck said earlier, we take children right where they are, and our early educators are really good at that. And so all of those we consider great learning opportunities for children.
Here's something a little practical too. When my sons were kindergartners, I was working part-time, and extended day, you can pick anyone from 1 to 5 days a week to come, whereas all day K, it would be Monday through Friday. So depending on what your work schedule or your family schedule, it's a nice option and flexible that way too.
Okay. Two more people. Go ahead.
I noticed in what it looks like for a day in a kindergarten classroom, there were a lot of different things. One thing I noticed something that I had that I really enjoyed in elementary school was library time. Do you guys have a time that the kids go to library and have a chance to take out books or do library-centered activities like that?
All right. They're jumping
Yes.
at the bit to answer this one.
Okay.
We try to spend as much time with books at all of the schools as we possibly can. Kids get introduced to all sorts of early phases of literacy, and teachers are beginning to discover who they are as learners. Library is a big part of every day at every school.
Great.
From kindergarten all the way through 6.
Awesome.
Can I just say, of all the questions that have been asked, that's the one that lit up our principals here. They're all excited to talk about library.
You're welcome. I just had one or two others. Is there any place where we can find information on the pricing of the extended day programs?
Thank you for that question. So all of that information will be online next Tuesday. So you'll see all the pricing, different structures, whether you pick one day, whether you pick 5 days, whether you want just afternoon kindergarten, or whether you want before school, after school. All those will be on our registration forms available next Tuesday online. And again, it's an ongoing. Yeah, and your night, so.
We have our.
Yeah, so the Douglas at Dawn and the Miriam program and the Blanchard program all have their pricing out already.
Okay, and also sort of related to that, is there any sort of like a program difference between the school-based programs and the community education program?
I mean, for our program, I would say, again, we draw from all of the 6 schools, so we would get different we would get kids from all of the school districts, so some families want, their kids to meet kids from other schools. That's one difference, I would say, for the community ed program. I don't know if any of the principals that represent.
Go ahead.
Yeah. At each of the individual schools, so let's say when you go to Douglas or when you go to Miriam, they may have very specific answers to your questions about what their program does. But generally, the registration process is very similar. They're all very flexible. We all offer summer and vacation programs along with our programs. So they're similar. Some of it just might be, preference and where your child goes to school and what the day is going to look like.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Anything anybody wants to add to that? Okay. All right, go ahead.
Okay, this is related to transportation. So if we qualify as walkers, but our child gets dropped off for before school care at Kinder Care on Hayward because they open at 6:30 rather than waiting till 7, because both of us leave the house early.
Yep.
If we are a walker, are we allowed to have our child bused from Kinder Care to his school?
Yeah, the safe walk to school is based on your home address. You may not be doing that when your child's in 5th grade. They may be walking at that point.
Yeah.
Probably not a lot of kindergartners are walking, period, right? So yeah, it does not matter.
So, but JD, why don't you say where we bus kids to and from?
We transport students to and from licensed child care providers in the community. There's a handful: Kinder Care, Infant Toddler Center, Blossom Station.
So a walker is allowed to be part of that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So this is a really important point.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, again, you could be 3/4 of a mile from the school. It could be a safe walk, but it might not be a safe walk for a kindergartner.
Yeah, especially
right?
at 6:30 when we leave the house.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you sign up as a walker, it does not necessarily mean that your child needs to walk to school every day.
Right.
So we grant walker priority to people within a 1-mile safe walk in the interest of those that are truly closest in the neighborhood being able to go to the school that's right near them. But it doesn't necessarily mean they'll always walk to school or that they have to walk to school. We offer bus rides from your home. We offer bus rides from a licensed child care center in Acton or Boxborough.
Wait, you offer bus rides from the home, even for the walker?
Yes.
Yes. Not to the child care center at 6 o'clock in the morning, no.
I didn't think that. I didn't think that.
No,
I didn't think
right.
that. I didn't think that.
So we do. I mean, if they're next door or they're across the street, they're around the corner, there's a sidewalk, you can walk them. They're 5 years old, right? Then you might walk them, but you have the option to have a bus stop.
Okay, that's great.
Okay.
I just wanted to ask one really quick follow-up to the mom who was asking with the July child. I also have an August child, so I've been thinking about this. Do you notice a trend with how families are handling, like, because I had a similar concern to her, maybe my son goes, but then he's significantly younger than other kids. I mean, do most summer moms of boys say, we'll give them another year, or do most of them say, just go ahead?
There's not really a trend. It's highly individualized. So I would talk to the child care teacher, the preschool teacher, and again, you're welcome to make an appointment with our early childhood coordinator, Joe Gibowitz. It's a really personal, individual, developmental decision for that child and for your family. So there's not a trend. We have plenty of August birthdays, boys and girls who come to school. We have some who wait a year. They're at very varied levels of their development. So
thank you so much.
Okay.
Hi. So question about transportation as well. I saw bus routes on this website, but then what I heard here kind of makes me think, like, are they flexible? Will they change, or are they pretty much set?
Yeah, they change every year based on the student enrollment. And generally, this is a very general statement, the bus stops tend to, like, if you live on a street and there's multiple students on that street that go to the same school, we try and put the bus stop proximal to the youngest students. Usually that's the kindergartners, right?
Okay, so the routes on the website are from this
year.
Current.
They're current, yeah, and we'll post the next routes won't be posted until really late August, because we're adjusting those constantly based on late kindergarten enrollment generally.
Okay.
And students switching schools based on choice.
Yeah, and one more thing, you mentioned how kids can be bused from schools to the community daycare, right, or to the community extended day, rather.
Correct.
Right. So, how does that look? Do they get on the bus themselves? Is there an adult who goes with them on the bus, or?
No, so at the elementary school, I don't know if someone else wants to take this question, but I'll try. At the elementary school, the students, all students are walked to the bus by a kind of a bus line person with a sign, bus 20. And then when they arrive at the administration building, there's someone out there to meet them and receive them.
Okay.
And that would be the same if you went to like another daycare facility in town. Our expectation would be that daycare facility has someone there waiting and knows with a list exactly who's getting off that bus.
Got it. Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks. All right, it looks like we have a couple more. We'll end it after this, and if anyone has any more questions, you can just come up here, and we'll talk individually. Okay, so go ahead.
I was just wondering the difference between the outdoor and recess time between the half-day and the all-day program. I know it's going to vary from school to school, but I'm sure you guys have a standard.
Okay, another principal.
Well, the children get outside for both programs, and of course, if they're staying the full day, they'll have more opportunities to get out. Where at Conant, our kindergartners get out in the morning, and then our afternoon group gets out for another half hour or so in the afternoon.
Okay.
I have two quick questions. One, if you have the home school guarantee, if you live in Boxborough, do you have to still fill in for the other choice schools, like if that's your...
No, you don't. No. Good question. You don't.
And then if you are in a school that has the school-based program extended day, are you guaranteed, like at Blanchard, to get into the extended day
Dana
program?
We've never had any issues with turning anybody away, so we try to keep families together, and if you've requested extended day at Blanchard, we'll make that happen.
Okay.
Okay, great. All right, everybody, thank you so much for your time tonight. If you have further questions, you can email or call Sally, our registrar, and otherwise, we'll be up here for a little while if you have questions.